Locate all the following parts which will be needed to assemble the roof support system: left and right side gables, left and right side roof gable angle brackets, end plates, connector plates. You will need the gable and corresponding angle bracket and 2 panhead screws with locking nuts. Lay the parts in front of you in this arrangement. You are looking at the inside of the gable. Start by inserting the panhead screws through the holes in the gable from the outside. Pre-assemble the roof gables and angle brackets by positioning the angle bracket on the inside of the roof gable with the flat, narrow end of the angle bracket oriented to the bottom, narrow angle of the gable, and the top flange of the bracket without screw holes facing the top flange of the gable. Very loosely secure the brackets in place with a screw and locking nut. The gables and angle brackets are left or right sided, and only a left side angle bracket will fit correctly on a left side gable and vice versa. A Suncatcher cage with a single gable will have a pitched roof that will shed water to the lower side of the roof when it rains. If your cage will be placed close to a building, we suggest that the wide ends of the roof gables be oriented towards the building so that water flows away from the building. Attach the gables on the outside of the ends of the enclosure with a screw and finishing washer inserted through the hole in the bottom of the gable into the threaded insert at the top of the wall or door panel. Leave the screws just tight enough to hold the gables in position. The gable angle brackets will be facing inside the cage. Use 2 screws with nylon threaded nuts to attach a connector plate to the flange at the wide end of each gable. The bent top of the connector plate should point into the cage. Do not completely tighten the nuts. The end plates have a bent flange at the top and the bottom. The bottom flange is narrower, has a double bend, and a single oblong hole in the center at the bottom. The top flange is wider, has a single bend, and has an oblong hole at each end. The top bend of the bottom flange will rest on top of the wall panel with the flange on the outside of the cage. Use a 5/8 inch panhead screw with black finishing washer inserted through the hole in the bottom flange of the end plate into the threaded insert at the top of the wall panel to secure the end plate into position. Do not completely tighten the screw. One end plate will be connected to the top of each wall panel on the side of the cage with the wide ends of the roof gables. Install all the end plates onto the tops of the wall panels. The ends of each end plate will be tied together with a connector plate that is attached on the interior of the end plates. Use 4 screws with locking nuts to connect each end plate with a connector plate, inserting the screws from outside the cage. This is the only time that you should completely tighten the nuts. Use 2 screws with locking nuts to attach the end plates at the ends of the cage to the connector plates already attached to the roof gables. Do not completely tighten the nuts. This completes the roof support system for the enclosure.